came up from the mud, I keep my feet to the earth, I keep that love in my heart, I put my family first, but can't forget about myself, I'm finna handle this work, but ooh, sometimes it's hard to manage your worth, I have these damaging bursts, full of self-deprecation, like what if I'm no good, and what if I never make it, I'm scared of losing my will, afraid of being complacent, I know that sometimes when you talk to me, it feels like I'm vacant, but look, I apologize, I know it may seem, as if I ain't here and I'm off in a dream, looking at the full scope of get you lost, huh? Guess that's what happens when you know you really want some. I know oftentimes that I am hard to read, and I don't tell you what it is that I need, but I just need you by my side, baby blossom. I know when I'm feeling low that you gon' bring me up some. You bring me up when I feel low. She brings me up when I feel low. They bring me up when I feel low. I bring me up. I need you. All y'all love makes me stronger, and all that love makes me go harder, and all that love makes me push farther, and all my love makes me feel like all of the ominous overthought problems is obviously not as bad as I thought they was prior to talking with the people who send you and keep you on 10 and 2 and change your perspective. You're optimistic. The object of the game is to listen to your heart as well as the hearts that's surrounding you. You're not bound to one ballad, baby, balance moves. So I'ma shift my weight. I got a strong family base, they always keeping me straight. I'ma set my pace, cause at the end of the day, I know I'm the only one that's getting in my way. I know I'm the only one that's getting in my way. I know I'm the only one that's getting in my way. You bring me up when I feel low. She brings me up when I feel low. They bring me up when I feel low. I bring me up. I need you. My pleasure, passion, love. I need you. My family up above. I need you. The air that's in my lungs. I need you. The songs I haven't sung. I need you.
You ready? Yo, 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 yo. Welcome everybody to Another World is Possible community engagement. We're so happy to be here. This has been a labor of love. If you came in while the music was playing, that is a local artist named Nico Otis. He's a young and up and coming artist from Sonoma County. If you check the chat, you can find his information in the chat. If you want to follow him on Instagram, it's at Nico_Otis on Instagram. You can follow that guy there. And he has music on all streaming platforms right now. My name is Kayada. That is she, her, them, they. Those are my pronouns. So welcome everyone. Before we get started, we want to check in with everybody. Let us know where you're from. Drop your location in the chat right now so we know where you're from. Let us know where you're from. Where are you logged on from? I'm actually in, let me put where I'm from right now. I'm out of the country. We got Sebastopol, Portola Valley, Cotati, Petaluma, Sebastopol, San Jose, Mexico is in the building. Anybody else? Grayton-ish. Who else do we have here? Miwok Glen, but calling it from, I don't know how to say that. Ohlone territory, I got you. Miwok Glen, Petaluma. Bruce at Santa Rosa, all right. Planet Earth, Santa Rosa, cool beans. All right. Thank you guys so much for logging on today. We appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. All right. Also, let's do a check-in. Let's do a check-in real quick. We got everybody's location. Now, this is what I want everybody to do before we actually dive into this whole wonderful event that we have planned for you guys today. This is hosted and brought to you by Another World is Possible. So right now, what I want you guys to do is put one word in the chat that makes another world possible. So for example, I would put resilience. Resilience makes another world possible, right? So all of you just put one word in the chat. If you want to put two words, cool, that makes another world possible. Sunali, why don't you call those words off for me? What do
We got accountability, gratitude, love, love, love. That keeps coming in. Esperanza, compassion, abundance.
Yeah, that's good.
Friends, empathy.
Right.
Understanding.
Yeah. I like it.
Creativity, presence, sharing, beautiful. I want to introduce myself. I'm Sunali, and all of you could have been anywhere in the world right now, and you chose to be here. Thank you. It's with great excitement that we're bringing these films to share with you. There has been so many, many hearts that have poured themselves into this creation, and I hope you know you're in for a treat.
Yeah, and again, I am Kayada Patton. And so me and Sunali, we're gonna be your hosts for this evening. We have a whole bunch of other players that are gonna dive in, give you some feedback and all of that good stuff. But for the most part, we're gonna take you on this journey. But also we're a part of this crew called the Storytellers Crew, alongside with artists, weavers, Love, Chelsea Kobek, Cassie Goodluck, Eki Shola, Anthony Jimenez, who did all the visuals for us, and a coalition of community-based organizations working together to cultivate a future rooted in social justice, environmental resilience, and equitable economies.
Heck yeah.
Sunali, your tan is popping, let's go.
Well, thank you. So check it out, folks. A few months ago, we asked our community to nominate people fostering positive change with their everyday actions. We got over 60 nominations, and we chose 7 heroes to bring you their stories through these short films. We've been inspired by their stories and hope you will be as well. We also intentionally chose this moment when we as a country otherwise come together to celebrate our nation's independence, but we chose this moment to come together today and celebrate our interdependence of thriving together in community through our creativity, through our imagination.
Right. Because the truth is, there's a hero in all of us, right? And the truth is that at some point, all of us are going to experience the hero's journey. To us, the hero's journey is seeing a need and fulfilling that need, right? And you may be faced with challenges, right? And you may experience transformation, but you also find the courage to rise to the occasion.
We've been on a hero's journey, all of us ourselves, in putting this together. And we believe that by activating that hero in all of us, we weave that tapestry of another world.
Absolutely. So here's the deal. All right. We're going to give you a little bit of history. We're going to bring some other players into the fold. All right. I'm just going to give you a rundown of what the rest of the evening will look like. We're going to present 7 short films, and these are our heroes. And I've watched these films. They're awesome. They're off the chain. I love it. I can't wait for you guys to see them. Then we're going to have a Q&A where me and Sunali facilitate a Q&A, but also all of the participants, you get to put your questions in the chat and ask the heroes questions, and they're going to answer them. And then we'll have a little intermission where we bring in some local artists that I think you guys should really take a listen to. And then after that, we're going to dive into our breakout rooms where all of us are going to discuss how each one of us at some point has experienced the hero's journey. See?
Got it. And now we're going to turn it over to two of our coalition members, Evan Wigg of the Community Alliance with Family Farmers, and Carrie Fugit of Daily Acts and Leadership Institute for Just and Resilient Communities. Take it away, take it away, take it away now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sunali and Kayada. Good evening. Thank you everybody for being here. We have an incredible group here. We're so honored to be sharing these stories with you tonight. Before we get started, I wanted to invite everyone to take a breath and take a moment to settle in, to get comfortable, because to conspire literally means to breathe together. So tonight, as we take a deep breath and get ready to soak in the local inspiration of folks working to create a just and resilient world, it's with honor that we're all here with you tonight. And we know there are people joining from all around the Bay and world tonight, but the Another World is Possible Coalition is based in Sonoma County. So we want to take a moment to give enormous gratitude to the Coast Miwok and Southern Pomo communities who have been lovingly stewarding this land for thousands of years. And as we get ready to show these films, we want to share a little bit about who we are and our own journey over the last 5 years that brought us to this evening. And I'll let Evan kick us off with that.
So I'm honored to be a part of this group and really stoked for everybody who came out to participate. First off, shout out to the watch party over at Arlene Francis Center. I know some of us are in the warmth of our own homes, but there's also an awesome group getting together at the Arlene Francis Center. So shout out to you guys. So a little bit about Another World is Possible. We got started back in 2016. It was a result of a number of community activists and advocates and movers and shakers in the community who were all working within their own particular realm. We had environmental activists, we had agricultural advocates, we had social justice advocates working in the cities to mobilize rights for renters. And so we had all these different groups that we all knew each other individually, just in social circles or just in moving in the same spaces. But we started talking and realized that, we each had our own different community, but the issues that each of us were fighting for, they weren't in a silo. Each one was connected. The need for affordable housing impacted farmers greatly here in Sonoma County. The need to protect land and open space and preserve our natural resources impacted people in the cities as well. And so we realized that rather than trying to continue operating in our own silos, what if we threw a big party and each group, each advocate brought their own community together to talk about the issues that mattered most to them and find out if folks could recognize the relevance in their own community. And so we got together with our Arlene Francis Center in the fall of 2016. And it was an awesome party. It was farmers, it was renters activists, it was environmentalists, it was people from all different walks of life talking about the issues that mattered most to them. And the coolest thing about it was that everyone found common ground and recognized that we're all in this together, and there's a really amazing opportunity for cross-pollination, for alliance building, and for recognizing that, as Sunali said, it's interdependence. And so what grew out of that was 2017 started rolling around, and there were some tough times in this country. There was a lot of division, and a lot of people were feeling moved to do something, but they weren't quite sure what to do. We heard a lot of people saying, we need to get going and do something. So we put on the community engagement fair. The same group got together, we grew, we added more people to the mix. And there at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds, we were able to get over 5,000 people to come meet with local organizations already doing things incredible in our community. And that event was so inspiring. We met so many incredible people. The sign-up list for volunteers at each of these organizations was just overflowing. And it really proves how important it is to connect the willing and the ready with the organizations that already exist and are already doing amazing things here in this community. So we were getting ready to do part 2 of our community engagement this year. Of course, COVID hit, so we made some changes. And that wasn't the only catastrophe that our county has faced since then. And then the wildfires hit, and Carrie's going to tell you a little bit about what the same group did to respond to that.
Yeah, so in 2017, really fueled by the power of cross-pollination and collaboration across all different issue areas, in response to the devastating wildfires, we started a grassroots fund, organized grassroots groups for grassroots groups. And we raised over $360,000 collaboratively redistributed towards community projects. It's called the Just and Resilient Future Fund. And we wanted to lift up some of the organizations that we were able to support by working together. And we were able to fund short and long-term resilience projects in Sonoma, Napa, Mendocino, and Lake counties. We really wanted to highlight that this project shows the power of what's possible when we work together and cross-pollinate, and really recognize that all our issues are so interconnected, and when we work together, we can build both power and raise more funds to help support each other's work.
So without further ado, we are gathered today in community with heart and joy for hope and inspiration. We present to you the community engagement premiere of The Hero's Journey. We will now show 7 short films directed by Love Alban, filmed by Anthony Jimenez, and edited by Cassie Goldluck. Afterwards, we'll have a live conversation with our heroes to learn more about their work and stories, followed by music by local performers, interactive breakouts, and of course, more music. So be sure to stick around for the full event. We got lots more coming up. Thank you so much for being here.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
Thank you for who you are in our community.
Well, thanks. I appreciate this. Yeah, I'm with the Kashaya of Stewart's Point, Pomo, but we consider ourselves Pomo, but Kashaya also, in which, as far as we're concerned, we've been here forever. And basically that's where I come from. One of my professors brought to the class attention an abalone farm that was down in Central California, around Monterey. It was the Cayucas abalone farm, which they started in 1968. I get to thinking, boy, that would be great if we can have something like that, give back to so our people can do that. Being that, we've lost access to all those resources over a period of time. That was one of our traditional foods, one of our main traditional foods. I put it right alongside the buffalo, like what actually the Sioux had. We would never get the whole coastline back, but we didn't need the whole thing, just a portion of it. Then as the years went by, opportunity just presented itself with us acquiring coastal property, which gave us the opportunity to actually, for me to go back and visit this again. Got a lot of support from our tribal members. Initially, when we started this, it was just from our people, to give us access back. But the more I looked into this, the more research I did, then I started to realize that, what was happening out there in the ocean with the abalone and other species, this is much bigger than we can handle if we tried to go this alone. I finally realized, I said, we're going to have a lot of help to do this. So we reached out to other people, and to my surprise, everything just fell into place. Everything was just positive. Everybody we came in contact with in the academic area, state of California, Sonoma County, scientific people, Bodega Marine Lab, just really supportive of our project. With our project, we want to raise this up not only for our people, but if it comes down to it, to restock the abalone in the ocean. The ocean's warming the ocean, that nobody knows what that's actually going to do over the years. They can't repopulate themselves for some reason or another. We're willing to step in. I very rarely take a step back to look at myself. I didn't expect to be where I'm at right now. I thought I could just start this and stay in the background, but if you want to really make this happen, you got to be out front. Nobody else is going to do it, unless if you believe it, you got to be out there. You got to be out there doing the footwork with a lot of help from others. I find if people really like what you're doing, you're gonna have no problem finding mentors. I have a lot of mentors. I mean, that's how I keep moving. That's how I keep going forward. We still have a lot of work to do. This will probably take a couple of years before we can actually, start actually farming abalone. Something at this scale is slow, so I had to learn to have patience. We had to get the land first. That was a process. Once we got the land, and then we started moving forward. This is a good beginning for us. It's actually give them an opportunity to start getting back to their traditional foods, which we've lost over the years. Anyone that believes in something, it's not impossible, and you don't have to know everything, but it's very important for you to find the people that do know. You don't have to be the smartest person. Just find some of the smartest people out, make your idea comes a reality.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
Thank you for being a hero among us. Look how cute that is. That's so special. Oh my God. And the kiss. Thank you.
When I was 7, living in Mexico, right, in a place where there was a lot of poverty, and then immigrating to Santa Rosa, walking through the border, right, in the middle of the night with helicopters chasing you. Still, I have that memory. Being triggered by all of these kids being in cages, right? And I remember when we were put in jail or whatever from trying to cross the border, they used to let you go, right? And now they don't. They hold you indefinitely, they separate you from your parents maybe, and that's really tough to bear witness to, coming through those experiences. At one point, we got separated from my sisters and my mom, and I was like, am I gonna ever see them again? That's one of the hardest feelings that I still remember, going through. I went to Sacramento State. I got involved in Mecha, and it was a place where I connected with people who had similar values than I did, and who was working within that organization to advocate and to educate our community through art and culture. They were taking up space using the art department to create silk screening. They were like the art front of the movement back in the day. And so if you look at those murals, you could see reflections of our antepasados, of our ancestors, right? Of the people that we come from, people that prayed and worshiped the elements. For me, it was finding a sense of identity. I didn't learn any of what they did through books or through reading about it, but through just sitting in community with them and organizing, and them sharing stories. All of the changes that they did inspired me to then come back into this community and seeing all the inequities and seeing what they were trying to change back then made me really inspired to do what they did. In 2015, when we started doing some of this work and taking a space in libraries, in schools, in the classrooms, I think people are seeing what being passionate about certain work looks like, and they're wanting to create things that they care to see in their community. So I'm starting to see what leading by example means. If you think something is missing, then no one's gonna come save us. We have to do it ourselves. If we don't see government doing it, then we have to come to help each other out. I think that's a huge movement that's happening now. In 2015, we became a nonprofit, Raíces Collective, whose mission is to empower people through art, culture, and environmental education. It's a space where anyone can come. It's like a beautiful space for all of us to come together if they need that space. All of these relationships that I've built through this work has transformed me in a way that I truly do believe in collective power and collective work. Follow what calls to you, to your spirit, to your heart. And I know it's hard to say because a lot of us are in survival mode, but I've just been witness, to people following what they love to do, wanting to help their community, and that's all I strive to do, is just to make space for that.
Yeah, let's go.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
Oh my God, it's so cute. What? This is so adorable. I'm crying. Thanks for being a hero among us.
Definitely the call to action would be George Floyd, but it goes way beyond that. I've been, going to protests, whether it be Black Lives Matter or women's rights or animal rights, since I was a little kid. When everything started happening, going into the summer, and George Floyd and just so many others, I was like, this is my time to come out and speak. And I think I had been holding back a lot of things because I was scared of the kind of feedback I would get from my peers. In the beginning, it was a lot of me online expressing my own words and putting that out there onto social media. Somebody had come to me who wanted to get involved but didn't quite feel comfortable as a white person leading it, and wanted more people of color and Black people's voices to be heard. And so I said, hey, I would really like to help you. And we all came together. We had 3 days to plan this because the date had already gone out. And so that's when I started planning my first protest, and it was a whole bunch of emotions. One of the scariest things I've ever done. I got to see so many people, and it was overwhelming, the amount of love and support that came out that day. From that, I got people coming up to me being like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And I was just rolling with it. This was my time to shine. There are gonna be people that are gonna hate, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because I felt so kind of oppressed for so long. I see it in families with young kids who are kids of color or Black kids. Between me and my friends, we hold a lot of it in. There is a lot of racism happening here. There was a city council member who said, oh, there's not racism in Sebastopol, and it's like, are you sure? Because last time I checked, there definitely was. And so I think it's just conversations that need to be heard, and I've definitely seen transformations within myself. Mostly, asked me 6 months ago, I would not have been able to come and do an interview because I was such a shy person. I've just found so much growth in myself. I never thought I could get up and speak in front of 200 people and read them a speech. And I've definitely seen growth, I think, in the conversations that I'm having with people. It's still hard to have these conversations. I've had some good conversations with people who have very different views from me, and we're able to come to an understanding with each other and educate without just yelling back and forth and fighting and trying to just be like, I'm right, you're wrong, constantly. At the protest that I planned, I had this father come up to me and say, thank you for doing this. It's really important for my daughter to see that there are people who look like her that are standing up for themselves and coming out. I have so many mentors, and I appreciate all of them. And the biggest one, I would say, is just my friends and my family, because they're the ones who stick with me and guide me and say, you're doing you're on the right path. You may feel like you don't know what you're doing, but continue with it and you're gonna go great places in life. If I could leave the world with anything, I would say do what you believe in, fight for what you believe in, make sure you're not hurting other people, but just really stick with it. And if people have negative things to say, that's on them, that's not on you, and you keep fighting for everything that you want in life and you'll get there eventually.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
Thank you for being a hero. Aww. Thank you.
Yay! You are enough. I have enough. I grew up on Santa Rosa Avenue. My mother's a refugee from Cambodia, and she survived the killing fields. So I grew up in a predominantly Southeast Asian community who survived genocide. What we suffer from is the erasure of our culture. When my mother was brought here, there was no discussion on America bombing Cambodia, and there was no help. So our people were brought here and just dropped off. there was oppression immediately. No resources, right? Lack of acknowledgement, like that you exist. Being a woman or a young woman growing up with a community mainly made of immigrants and refugees, that's who we gravitated as community. When I was 5, my mother met someone who was an abuser who was part of the church, LDS church, and I grew up in an abusive home, and to cope, my mother discovered alcohol. She worked really hard in this community, but what was lacking is at home, it was trauma on top of trauma. There was a moment when I was 5, I was put into my first coma. And I remember that moment of standing back up before I just was out. And from that moment, I just had this awareness. I just knew I was a fighter, and I knew that I was meant to do more. That's where it comes from, is that fighting nature of surviving when I was younger. That carries through in how I live life and how I move through life. How has my work impacted the community? I feel that there was a lack of representation. It was just immediately we were providing representation. And that hasn't been done yet in Sonoma County. And it's created this safe space. And that was innately why I started Love and Light, is to push the narrative, to bring it back to the people. I didn't really want any credit for it. I just wanted to inspire people. You know, when we talk about being visionaries or leaders, one of the greatest things is to make people better than you. If people start walking that path, that's so inspiring, and it's so deep on many levels. Something that I've noticed is that youth are starting to reach out to gain mentorship from me, because I'm a leader in so many ways that they've never seen, and that's called representation. It's youth that are deep in melanin, you know? Like, it's a beautiful thing, and it's such an honor to be viewed as such. I call this soul work. It's that ripple effect of change. I call it, like, everyone is that one raindrop, right? And because you're that one raindrop, you start to cause just this flow. When people start to tune in, then you find that solidarity, and it's that constant conversation. It's being consistent in many ways, even though this is a lot of work. I feel like I'm floating because I've found something that has fed my soul. I don't think that heroes have to be this Superman or Spider-Man. The parents right now during the pandemic, to the educators right now, y'all are doing the work. I'm gonna leave it with my mantra. My mantra is, you are enough, enough is enough, I have enough. When you value yourself and you value your beliefs, it's enough. So that's mainly what I wanna leave people with, is that word, and to sit with it.
What defines a hero? Is it cakes?
Thank you for being a hero among us.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Keep doing that work.
Oh, wow. I have the perfect hand for this. Huge. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. I'm an immigrant myself, so I can relate with the work that I do. There is always a need. There is always a need, especially now. The services, if we can provide that service, and I'm in the position because of my job, to see the reaction of the families when they get to be helped, or even a support, or even just listening, that is rewarding. My work every day is different. I'm only one part of an awesome team, Family Resource Center. I see the Family Resource Center like either an octopus or a bridge. We can be that bridge for the family to connect with the school, with the Family Resource Center, with the community, with the organizations that that are in the community. It can be a bridge. For some families, it's really strong and long because it's a lot of services. We accompany them sometimes. We interpret for them. Or it can be an octopus, like, okay, this family needs this and this and that, and we send emails, we text, we call, and we ask if we don't know, because I tell the families, ask me, and if I can help you, I'll tell you. If not, I will find out. I'll find out and I'll get back to you. The other way, it will be connecting the family with all the services or referrals, or helping with an application, or simply just following up with the family. I feel good, that I can see the reaction of the families, and that will compensate for whatever else is going on with my life. It's like, okay, I'm making a difference today. That was worth it. And then with the community, I think we are putting the seed for they want the information, to be able to ask and not be afraid to ask for the information. And it starts with a phone call sometimes, because they get to have the information, the right information from the right people. That's it, it really grows, like, we are trustworthy. What will I leave the audience with a final thought? As we can make just a little tiny difference, but it's a difference. Some will have more possibilities because of the situation where they are, so they can have more impact or bigger difference. But we all can make a difference if we're willing.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
That's cute. Isn't that cute? Let them know that there's people out there that care. The inspiration really came from a post that Rochelle had made on Facebook about the Joe Rodetta Trail.
I mean, it just took driving by the trail and just being curious as to what was going on. I was a little scared too, and I just put a post out there and just being like, let's go down there and just see what's going on, It was Heather's idea to go get some pizzas, and so we just walked down there and instantly fell in love. And it was just like, why are these people not getting help? Yeah. Like, they're screaming for help. People aren't listening to them.
It was a lot of assumptions that were being made, and all of these, oh, they're all drug addicts and none of them want to do anything with their lives and they don't want to get themselves together. That's where our advocacy really springboarded, is we went down there and we met these people, and they're amazing people, right? We wanted to go and find out exactly what their needs were. I am personally a recovering drug addict and formerly homeless.
I have dealt with drug addiction in my family. A lot of them have traumatic experiences that, have led them to where they're at. I think just them being heard is the start of the healing process, and we just never stopped helping them.
Just that one post, that one day, and then just us moving into action around that has inspired this huge movement of people that are actually interested and willing. We have 2,700 people in our group. Well, whether that be purchasing tents and sleeping bags and items to give out to the unsheltered, or that be donating, funds for us to do it. We have a huge team of volunteers that does food, because we still deliver 150 meals a day to the unsheltered community. So we go into encampments every single day.
Seeing these people step up just to help people, it's building these people that are inspiring, and it helps, like I said, it helps us keep going, because we see this growing and growing and growing, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Coming from where I've come from, having to learn to live a whole new way of life. And there was never this in between, right? It's always you go from here to right here, and we expect you to be able to live life like every other human being. That's what we need a lot of times, is like that in between where somebody is just holding us, right, and guiding us, and somebody who's building our trust, and somebody who's actually interested in our story, actually interested in where we came from, actually interested in where we would like to be, but not putting expectations on people, right? And that's a big part of what we do as well. Like, you know, I'm not going to tell you you have to do X, Y, or Z to get a meal. You deserve a meal. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do X, Y, and Z for us to give you a tent, because that's not the way that it works, right? Like, you deserve shelter. Despite the fact that you might be in this place right now, like, this isn't the place that you're always going to be, and we're going to help walk you through the whole process. We're going to give you your basic needs and then some, you know, whatever we can do to help you through this horrible time. When we encounter the folks on the streets who are like, I really want to help you pass out that food, like, that's a hero to me. Anybody who is willing to take that step into action is a hero to me. Don't be afraid to step out in action and help, like, even the slightest little tiny thing. You never know what that is going to do for the person that you're encountering. Instead of judging that person that you see on the corner, take a minute out of your day, get out of your car, and let that person know that they're seen and they're heard. You don't have to give them anything, just let them know that there's people out there that care. If you just went and had a conversation with anybody that you saw out there on the streets, you would be amazed at the beautiful souls that you meet out there.
What defines a hero? Is it capes?
Thank you for being a hero among us.
That's so cool. Thank you. This is awesome. It's so fancy. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I love this. Something that really inspired me to do the work that I'm doing currently really came from going to college, going to Sonoma State. I signed up for this like spring break weekend type thing where we did environmental justice work in the East Bay. And so that volunteer weekend really kind of opened my eyes to like, oh yeah, this is what I want to be doing. Like, this is the issue I want to focus on. I started working for the Climate Center, and my coworker actually started the Sunrise chapter here in Sonoma County. And that's where I first heard about it. I guess my catalyst moment was when a lot of members of the Sunrise Movement in the Bay Area did a sit-in at Nancy Pelosi's office. And that was the first time I saw them in the news, and I was like, that's awesome, and that's what I want to be doing. And I just went and did it. So that's how I got really involved in the Sunrise Movement and in climate activism in general. Being a group of climate activists who are very much civically engaged, you know, we show up to city council meetings, we protest, we do escalated actions. I think that having people see who we are and what we stand for really puts our narrative out there and gets people thinking about an issue maybe in a different light than they never would have previously. I think as far as our youth component as a movement versus some of the older traditional environmentalists, I think we bring a new perspective. I think a lot of traditional environmental movements are very much trying to work with our current systems that are failing us, and we are very much about the overhaul of these systems that are failing us. I would have never really pegged myself as an activist or a leader, and I think having to force myself in these roles of like being civically engaged and having conversations with like mayors and city council people, it really definitely just like makes you get over any fear. You're like, if you want the change to happen, you have to have these conversations and you have to put yourself out there. So I definitely have seen more leadership growth since I've started in this movement. And living in Sonoma County, which is predominantly white and skews a lot older, you know, I don't think those conversations were really happening in a really meaningful way. So I'm really happy to see that transformation within the community as well. Anyone who's like putting themselves out on the line, whether that's like risking arrest or risking, you know, just being kicked out of some sort of organization or group because they're voicing their opinion. Like, I think there's a lot to say for those people, and it's really inspiring to me. If I could leave the audience with one final thought, I want to share a quote that I'm pretty much paraphrasing from a climate activist named Xiuhtezcatl Martinez. He said, "Your activism doesn't have to look like my activism." We think we need to be out on the streets all the time. We need to do certain things that some people aren't capable of doing or don't want to do. I would say if you are really passionate about something, find what you really like doing. Your activism should make you happy. You shouldn't have to conform to any other idea of what activism is.
A hero is someone who helps other people in need and makes the world a better place. A hero is a person who needs someone really. A hero is a person who helps people and things that need to be saved.
I think a hero is someone who doesn't only love themselves, but tries to find the love and goodness in others and tries to help them. I think it's the type of person who really put themselves out in a situation to make someone's life better, even if it doesn't affect them. I think that's kind of what a hero is. And a hero doesn't have to be a firefighter or a doctor, even though those are heroes, but just someone who really tries to make life a better place for everyone.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yo, everybody put emojis, fire emojis, put fives up in the chat. Give it up for all of our heroes today: Severino, Isabel, Des, Tavi, Anna, Heather, Nina. Give them some praise right now. I am so inspired. I really felt like crying. I mean, I've watched these videos several times over and over again, and every time I watch them, it still hits my heart in a certain way. So yeah, just give it up for them really quick. And I'm gonna pass the mic over to Sonali before I start crying, because I'm mad sensitive. So yeah.
Okay. Want to let you all know that our heroes are with us today. So if the heroes could turn on their video, that would be awesome. They're here for question and answers from the audience. So folks who have just watched this, if you want to drop a question into the chat, that would be great. And Kay and I will help facilitate that. I want to say, as the storytellers, Kay and I and that furry fellow you saw pop his way into all my four-legged friend and all the videos, had the opportunity to meet and spend time with each of these 7 folks. And what really struck me and still strikes me is their genuine care and compassion that just like comes from an open heart of doing good. They didn't have to have a degree or a certificate, or it didn't matter what nationality they were just there to help others. And I just really commend you all and thank you for each of the things that you're doing.
I love it. Yeah. Are you guys ready for the Q&A? I'm ready for the Q&A. I want you guys to meet these folks because they're beautiful. They're awesome. They're all different. They're all cut from different cloth, but I think we all have a synonymous goal. And I think that goal is just to make this place a better place than when we got here, right? So let's get started. And again, if you guys have questions, we just want you guys to drop them in the chat. We'll grab those as we go and we'll plug them in here and there. But let's get started. So, and this is for all of our heroes. I have a question for you. We talk about the hero's journey, and a specific part of the hero's journey is that it's challenging, right? We know that this work is challenging. We know that it is daunting. And so with that, we would all like to know, because it's challenging and daunting, what do you guys do to recharge, stay grounded, and keep your hope? Severino, actually, let's tag Severino. You're it. I want you to answer that question.
On the spot.
On the spot. Is Severine here?
Okay, I had to unmute myself. What was that question again? Sorry.
So you've done a lot of work, ocean and conservation and all of that stuff. And I know it's pretty challenging. Dang, where's my notes? Look, I'm about to freestyle right now. So we know that it's challenging. We know that doing the work that you do is daunting. What do you do when you're away from the work to recharge, stay grounded, and keep hope?
Well, I get a lot of support. I don't have time to drift off too much. I get emails all the time, phone calls all the time. So it's continuously being supported by various people. So basically that's keeps me charged.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sonali, tag you're it.
Sabrina, thank you. Isabel, what do you do to keep your hope alive?
I think about my daughter in the future, I see all these young people, including some of the ones that I'm meeting today here through Zoom and hearing their story, right? Like there are young people that are going through and have gone through so many things. So just knowing how hard they're working and all of the issues that are going to be facing them moving forward, that gives me hope, right? To leave them with as much examples of what they can do to create change themselves. So that was what gives me hope.
I like that. I work with young people, so I will say just working with young people definitely keeps me grounded and focused, and I don't know, it just keeps me from being too jaded or too full of myself. So thank you, Isabel. I want to tap in with Des. Des, what about you? But before Des, hold up, guys, because I messed up. I didn't even mess up. But Eki, I want to give a shout out to Eki before I dive into Des. A shout out to Eki because what Eki did, she actually did the score for all of our short films. All right, she curated a sound for each one of those videos. So just want to give a major shout out to Eki for all the music that she put together for this project. All right. And so I'm going to take a question from this chat and I'm going to tag Des. Des, tell us on a regular day, what inspires you?
What inspires me is
what inspires you? Who inspires you? What inspires you? Yeah, give us the goods.
My friends, my nieces and nephews, they inspire me every day. Just my peers, being able to see everybody here, you all inspire me. And just meeting new people. I meet new people all the time that come up to me from different events that I've been to, and they're such an inspiration to me just to see and hear, because there's so many people that have so many different stories and backgrounds and activism and stuff. And so hearing their stories and being able to ask them questions, it inspires me, and I really look up to a lot of people that come up to me and ask me questions. So it's really cool to see everybody in the community and their different stories.
I love that. Just so y'all know, this young lady put all of this together. She is still in high school. It just, you know how I say a mustard seed, it started from a mustard seed and it became big. I was at this event that she put together. I'm just gonna give y'all a little backstory, then Sonali, you can take it away. But I was in communication with Desi about this event that she was doing, and we were just communicating through email, right? And so I'm thinking I'm talking to a full-grown adult, we're going back and forth, we're corresponding. So I get to the place, I bring the sound system for this event, and I'm asking everybody, where's Des? Like, I need to talk to Des. So this young lady walks up to me and it's Des. And I'm like, dang, I've been talking to you this whole time. So kudos to this young lady. She has it together. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely echo that, Kayada. Just inspiring youth. It's nice to like look out and see your peer. I think that really has brought other folks alive in our community, and especially through last year when things were feeling so daunting. So
Yeah.
kudos to you, kudos to all of you. And Shantavi, another young lady who it sounds like you've had that fire in your soul since you were young. And I'm wondering, I'm sure despite having that fire, it can get daunting at times, especially because you've spoken to seeing the intersectionality of all the work that you do. And I'm wondering how you keep your focus on one particular thing and how to keep that hope alive.
You know, I think the hope starts with healing internally, and with everything I've gone through, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I'm doing now without healing myself. Along with healing myself, it's being deeply rooted in my ancestral roots. So my name means moon angel, and the gravitational field behind the moon, right? And the spirituality behind our ancestral roots and going back to our motherland or wherever that is, staying grounded with that and bringing that energy of warrior woman from my culture and taking it on and letting it be within me and persevering in this community and not letting it knock me down, because we know that in this community it's really hard sometimes to speak out. But the one thing that I know that gives me hope is you never need permission to be a good person. You don't need permission to do the right thing. You don't, like Nina was saying, there's so many forms of protest. There's so many forms of speaking your truth. You just have to own it. And that's what gives me hope with everyone on here, because everyone on here is listening and present. So being present is part of that, being aware and not complacent. So, you know, I'm optimistic about our community. We have a lot here. We have a lot of substance. We just need to find the grounding and cultivate this land and resoil the rotten trees. And we're here together and we're intersectional in our work. And that's where I'm at, and that's what gives me hope. And also, I'm a mother. I have a 7-year-old, and keeps me grounded. Still work, but keeps me grounded.
Thank you. I like the art and poetry that you brought into creating your part of your inspiration with your name and that energy, and like, yeah, it's really beautiful. Thank you.
I like that listening to V. Thank you so much for chiming in. Watching your video, you wanted to remind that everyone that they're enough, right? Because a lot of times we think we aren't enough, right? And I think what the theme here is, it's everyday people doing extraordinary things, right? It's, I think one of the heroes says something about a ripple effect, like a drop in the bucket, right? So thank you, Tavi. I wanna shoot a question over to Anna. Sometimes we win, sometimes we have setbacks. What advice do you have for handling setbacks and continuing the work that you're doing? That's for Anna.
Hi, setbacks. I think I'm a positive person, so I try to focus on the positive and be conscious that not every time is going to be the way I expect it, because it's not under my control. So if it is under my control, I'm going to do whatever is under my control to make it happen. But sometimes for misunderstandings or something, you know, it might not happen. And so I try to understand the other points of view. You know, if it is, well, with my work, if it is with the family. So sometimes there are setbacks that I for some reason, you know, I wasn't expecting that, or it's like, oh, no. And so I just keep, okay, from that, what was the positive thing? And then keep going, we have to.
See.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
That can be hard to do. That's amazing. Always seeing the positive and trying to see somebody else's opinion or side. And I'm just seeing and meeting you, Anna, I can feel that you really genuinely bring that to the work that you do. Heather, speaking of setbacks, working alongside you, I know how daunting your work can be with the houseless. They've been swept and swept and swept numerous times, and these are friends that you make. You work a full-time job, you feed and care and love these people from your heart. Wondering how you stay grounded and recharge and keep that hope alive as well.
A lot of my hope comes from the time that I get to spend interacting with the folks on the streets, learning about them and their stories and their hardships as well. For grounding, I actually go out and hike, and waterfalls is usually my destination. And spend time with my children and my dogs. Monday, I guess you can't call it grounding, but I'll be going skydiving Monday as a form of rejuvenating and just getting a little time to, you know, I think it'll be a very good experience to be able to just be floating free in the air.
Yo, so I love hiking. I don't think I'm gonna skydive, like ever. I hike all the time, so that's what I do to recharge. So thank you for chiming in. I wanna ask Nina this same question. We know that the work you're doing is challenging. It might be arduous at times. What do you do to recharge? What do you do to stay grounded? What do you do to keep your hope?
I think the first thing is just knowing that the setbacks are a part of the process. I don't think anyone goes into the work we're doing thinking this will be a piece of cake and just gets it done so easy. Just knowing that you will encounter some issues, but it's also a learning process. There's a lot to learn from the setbacks that we all encounter. Just keeping that in mind and focusing on your goal. I don't think any setback should deter you from that. And hopefully we all here have a support system we can lean on. I mean, Sunrise, there's like a billion of us. So I feel like I have all these friends that I can really count on. And I think you just said my grounding also is hiking. We live in Sonoma County. We have so many beautiful spaces. It's just nice to detach once in a while, just kind of take your mind off things and come back refreshed. It really helps with the process of what we're all doing here.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I mean, for all of you here online who don't live in Sonoma County, who have never visited Sonoma County, it is a gem of a place, and mountains and water, and the best place to go is just to bathe in the trees, redwoods, you name it. I'm gonna throw this question out to everyone, and whoever feels compelled to answer, cool beans. All right. I have a question in the chat that says, how can we support you and what you're currently working on and what you're gonna work on next? All right, so we have somebody in the chat who wants to help.
And while you're all thinking about answering that, if all our heroes could drop into the chat the organization you're with or any links that you have, that would be great as well. Thank you.
Anybody want to answer? how can we support you moving forward in your work, what it is you guys are doing?
I'll go.
Who said I'll go? Who said I'll
Heather.
go? Okay, Heather, let's go.
Hi. So Sonoma County Acts of Kindness, we are out on the streets 7 days a week. So we can always use support with folks making meals, and if anybody wants to come out and help with distribution. Yeah, I mean, we have our website is socoactsofkindness.org. We have a Facebook page and Instagram as well. We do have sign up links all over the place if you're interested in coming out and meeting our unhoused community and just getting to know the folks out here. We would be happy to have help.
You guys got that? The folks who asked, can they help? Did y'all get that? She's out on the streets 7 days a week. Sunali, tag your it, my sister. You're up.
Okay, well, Heather, I know you folks put on a bunch of different events too, like the Health and Wellness Fair, where different practitioners come out, whether they be herbalists or body workers and people who just want to support the community. So you can have all sorts of different skills. You're all needed, all wanted. And there's a bunch of behind the scenes work. Like to put together this, we had Serena, sending out our marketing stuff, and Josh is here doing our audio and our video. It takes a community, it really does. So whatever you think you have, there's a place for you too. I would like to hear that specific question be answered that Isabel asked from the rest of our panelists of how can we support you in your work? What can we do? Anybody else?
I will go.
Thank you.
How you all can support us is holding your city officials accountable, making sure there's equitable resources available for marginalized communities. That means figure out what the money trail is. There's things you could do from home, especially during a pandemic. We're still in it, y'all, and I know we're coming out of it, but we're still on the rise with COVID cases. But that's what you can do. There's things that you don't have to be out in the streets to help contribute. You can reach out, get to know each organization individually for their initiatives, and then you can connect. It's really that simple. Is you show up. You show up in different forms, whether that is writing an initiative, whether that is calling out the poli, right? Like there's so many different things you could do within our community to hold those people in power accountable, and then also vote for more representation wherever you are. Put representation in the seats of power. That's the only way we're going to change this community.
Like it. Anybody else want to chime in? What can we do? Our participants here, our audience here, our community here, what can we do to support you and the work that you're doing now and moving forward?
If I can piggyback off what Shantavi just said, another thing that is really important is when there's a call to action, please take it. And sometimes that is just like sending the Board of Soups a letter, or it's just calling in, telling your congressman or representative, vote yes on this, vote on this. It all makes a difference. I think those are also some of the easiest things to do, depending if you have the ability to do it. So I would say if you ever see any of our organizations putting out a call to action, try your best to take it and to spread the word.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were saying. Like, you don't need a cape, you don't need a ton of money, you don't need a ton of resources to make a change, make a difference, right? We want to propose this question to all of our heroes. So, Severino, we haven't heard from you. What can we do? What can the community do? What can the audience here do to support you in your work now and moving forward?
I guess just try and stay informed, because eventually this will be made public, when we get at that particular stage. We just got so much work to do before we get there. And just kind of keep their ears open, and eventually it'll be made public. You know how these things work when you get any big projects that's going to be happening in Sonoma County or any other place. Eventually there'll be probably a public notice will come out about our project, and just be in support of it if you can. If it's something you feel like you want.
I appreciate that. I think Severino really hit on a key point, is like stay informed, right? Education, inform yourself, making sure you keep your ear to the street. Isabel, you want to chime in? How can we help your organization? What can we do to help you in your movement moving forward?
Yeah, right now we are sort of doing pop-up vaccine clinics, and just because we saw such a huge need to communicate to those folks that sometimes can't even read or write or don't speak English. And so focusing on those underserved communities and providing access to them. So if you're bilingual, if you can do canvassing, if you can help organize some of these events, we're definitely welcoming you. If you want to do art in regards to any messaging, anything, performers are welcome to come through to these events and perform. I know Kayada has done some of that at our events. But yeah, anything, we'd welcome anything. If you want to volunteer to do a mural, anything, right? Like the nonprofit Raíces is open to any volunteers who want to sort of learn about anything, and especially help out in this time, right? Trying to get our folks to get vaccinated, or BIPOC community. And then I just want to shout out to Alegria. She said that stay tuned for the 96 million coming for COVID recovery to those communities of color, right? So let's start envisioning like what does a community after post-COVID look like, right? Like we keep saying like we don't want to go back to the new normal, but what does that look like, right? So
what is our new norm?
Right.
What is our new norm? I think Pamela, thank you. And just so y'all know, Isabel has been doing great work in the community, getting people vaccinated. As you know, COVID has hit the Indigenous community, the Black community, the Hispanic community really hard. So taking care of those communities are super important. It doesn't mean excluding anyone else, but we just know those particular communities have been impacted greatly by COVID-19. I think we had a participant named Pamela who had her hand up.
Hi, yes, I'm Pamela Van Helsma. Thank you so much for that. I just wanted to, first of all, thank everyone here who's being honored and acknowledged by their amazing work in the community. One of the things that I have recently started a new role helping with the fires, and I took on a new position with the Rebuild North Bay Foundation, which is going to expand its work, not just to our area, but actually to the whole Western United States, which basically is at danger of burning. And what we are focusing on right now are the most vulnerable populations, which tend to be in the rural areas. And if any of you have advice or knowledge or wisdom on how best to be sensitive to the cultural and practical needs of folks who will be living in these areas. And 2021 is going to be a very treacherous fire season. I welcome any of that input offline. Get in touch with me. Go through Carrie Fugit, who knows my contact information, because I really want to figure out how to help the most possible in the most culturally sensitive way.
Thank you. As you know, if you're in Sonoma County, we've been ravaged by fires. The last 5 years I've been in Sonoma County for 7 years. Maybe it's a fire every year. I'm not completely sure, but thank you so much, Pamela. Does anybody want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I would say that I'm a fire survivor myself. My own home burned at the Tubbs fire. And so I know it personally, and that's what really motivates me to be active in this area and to make it, first of all, prevent fires, but second of all, make it the road to recovery more easy, and to have access to funding and resources and those things in that recovery process be accessible to anybody who needs it, no matter who you are.
Accessibility is important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for chiming in. Is your information in the chat for us, for everybody to be able to get in touch with you?
I'll put it there. Thank you so much for letting me share that.
Yep. Thank you. So Sonali, tag you're it, mama.
Okay, we're about at time for questions. I just want to chime in and say, like, some of the things I heard were taking action, being involved, keeping your ear to the ground, know what's up, contact your politicians. We got the power, folks, so we can use it in a variety of ways. Through art, Isabel shared, they make murals, and what a beautiful way to share a message and inspire folks. And sometimes art can be more impactful, more immediate than a pamphlet. So thank you all for your work. I know some of our heroes didn't get to share. Anna, I don't know if you want to drop a link in the chat, or Nina, you as well. Anna works at a resource center, and when they have needs that need to be met and they can't meet them, they have a call list of people that they reach out to help support them. So that's one of the many ways that we can all support each other.
Yes, thank you. Thanks everybody for putting all of your information in the chat. Also, please do me a favor and just give it up for all of our heroes today. Thank you everyone that's on the panel for chiming in, giving us your feedback, giving us your stories. Also, kudos to Eki Shola again for putting together the score for this documentary. I'm still just really blown away. And I can't wait to see what you guys do with the work that you're doing in the next 5 years. It's going to be amazing. So anything else before we move on? Can we dive in? Anything else?
We can dive in, but if we're getting shout outs, let's give a big shout out to Chelsea Colbeck, who has been holding the structure and the form of all this. Her music's not out there, her face is not out there, but without her and the infrastructure that she has
Chelsea Fitness, yeah.
Thank you so much.
So right now we're gonna have intermission. All right, we're gonna have intermission. We're gonna play some music for you guys. We have 3 artists on tap for you guys today. Mariel, also my homeboy named True Lyric, and another really amazing artist named Erica Ambrin. Anybody ever had gumbo? My family makes gumbo. Okay, cool. So I want you guys to just look at this little array of music, like a pot of gumbo. It's a little bit of everything, a little bit of emo, a little bit of acoustic, some hip hop, and some soul. So we're gonna get into that right now. This is your intermission, and when we come back, we're gonna go into our breakout rooms. Y'all ready? Yes, we ready, Kayana, we ready. Let's go. Josh, let's go.
First thing in the morning on the menu, yeah, it's gratitude. Keeps my spirits up and really helps me with my attitude. Used to wake up full of resentment, yeah, I was mad at you. But now I know that every day's a gift, even in solitude. I'm trying to do something new, not many friends, blessed with a few. Quality over quantity. Got a whole new point of view. This ocean put a queen back in motion. I had my vision skewed. There's notion I cause all the commotion. This isn't really true, but you know what they say. It's 3 sides to every story. I'm just trying to live my life, cause no one else can live it for me. All this living in the past can be depressing and so boring. So when my ex call my phone, please believe I am ignoring. Ooh, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm vibrating so high that all the negative vibes, they will no longer do. I hear the people talk, but they ain't walked a day in my shoes. So I'ma spark this blunt and keep on sipping on my booze. Oh, I'm say I'm thankful. Man, I'm rich and I ain't talking about the bank though. Here to testify, tell my story while I'm basking in the universe's glory. Oh, I'm compelled to say I'm thankful. Man, I'm rich and I ain't talking about the bank though. Here to testify, tell my story while I'm basking in the universe's glory. And there ain't no doubt about it, yeah, I'm running with queens. If you one of them bad bitches, you don't know what I mean. Staying focused on the vision, there ain't no in between. Leave you no choice but to listen when I step on the scene. Revolutionary mindset, not even in my prime yet. Keep my spirits up and stay surrounded by excellence. Heaven sent the words that I display, yes, the evidence. At the end of the day, the rest of it is irrelevant. Another sunrise, another chance to be amazing. Ready for adventure, gotta satisfy the craving. Dance when it's raining, bass to my treble. My flow is hot as a kettle, so please get on my level. They digging me like a shovel, I remain above ground. Just perfecting my sound, adjusting my paper crown. And right now, the ink that leaks from my pen sends you through a journey of my life full of sin. The music, yeah, it's my cleanse. Fresh squeezed juice in the morning time, like a breath of fresh air every time I rhyme. Never dropping a dime, just keep my fists high, my head towards the sky, cause it's a beautiful life. Oh, I'm compelled to say I'm thankful. Man, I'm rich and I ain't talking about the bank though. Here to testify, tell my story while I'm basking in the universe's glory. Oh, I'm compelled to say I'm thankful. Man, I'm rich and I ain't talking about the bank though. Here to testify, tell my story while I'm basking in the universe's glory. For my moms and my dad, all the money I've had, all the lessons I've learned, all the weed that I've burned, all the people I've met, all the wonderful sex. Must say, yeah, I am blessed. Thank God for the protection. I'm just riding the wave, living for today. I mean, what can I say? YOLO, baby, okay? Gratitude for my squad, and you know who you are. Go hard and you go far. We all made of stars. Oh, I'm compelled to say I'm thankful. Man, I'm rich and I ain't talking about the bank though. Here to testify, tell my story while I'm basking in the universe's glory. Oh, I'm compelled to say I'm thankful.
Attention freshman class, we gonna need all the band geeks, all the weirdos and the theater kids to please report to the principal's office immediately. Thank you. I just got an SMS saying that you're done for. Throw me on a track, I can bet the kid run more. You gon' need more than all the weapons in the gun store. If you really want war, this is that Brian Chuck Norris in a bar fight. This is that Wiseman GPS Starlight. This is that good grip when the jar tight. Not all of those blacked out kids are white. Black kids like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like. I just got a phone call saying that you're through. I just shook the 8-ball, turns out that it's true. Staring at the Great Wall, didn't know what to do. Homie told me be yourself, bro, that's kinda cool. Like an avalanche, jumping like it's at a ranch. Gang at the cattle ranch, on the legislature branch. I'm making this for kids who were told what they should be. Just repeat after me. Black kids like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, black kids like, emo, emo like, black kids like, black kids like, emo, emo like, black kids like, black kids like, emo, emo like, black kids like, black kids like, emo, black kids like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh, emo, emo like, black kids like, and black kids like, oh.
conversating like the sky in the morning. You brighten up my days like nobody else. Different shades waking every morning. We'll never know just how beautiful you are. Keeps me guessing on every star. I was a blind, blind girl till I found more than just a blind, blind world. 'Cause when you open your mind to somebody else, you find you might cry to somebody else. You might even find a whole new somebody else inside yourself. Chasing skylines like they even matter. We found a lot of little love for the simple thing. Now they matter more than ever. When you lose something you loved so bad, I'm still guessing on every star. I was a blind, blind girl till I found more than just a blind, blind world. 'Cause when you open your mind to somebody else, you find you might cry for somebody else. You might even find a whole new somebody else inside yourself. About me and move on like it's just so easy. Like the scar on my cheek, it'll always be right there, right there. And I'll never forget the story. 'Cause when you open your mind to somebody else, find you might cry for somebody else. You might even find a whole new somebody else inside yourself. Dig underground. Dig underground.
Hey everybody, welcome back from intermission, and thank you, Kiara, for coordinating the local music. That was really awesome. So great to see some local artists. It's important to have a soundtrack to the movement, right? So we're happy to celebrate community participation through civic engagement. The reason why we want to have this conversation is it's not just about consuming inspiration, right? It's about being inspired to actually do something. And so we wanted to give an opportunity for folks who are attending tonight to get together amongst themselves. We wish we could be here, in person with you, but through this virtual format, we still wanted to give you guys all a chance to meet one another, talk about your own intentions as movers and shakers, and whether it's to find inspiration, to find new partners, building more alliances, or just to share your own experiences as someone trying to make a difference in this community. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend the next 10 minutes breaking out just into some breakout groups here on Zoom. give you guys a chance to chat and meet some other folks who are attending tonight. Carrie, you want to take it?
Yeah, so I think we've got a slide to put up about the hero's journey, and you've probably heard a theme a lot this evening about the hero's journey, and Kayada and Sonali did an amazing job working with each of our heroes to bring out these different parts of the journey. And we wanted to give you all a chance to reflect on your own hero's journey, because we believe everybody in this room is an inspirational hero in their own ways. So we're going to break out into groups of 3 or 4, and you'll have about 10 minutes, and we'll put some hero's journey related questions in the chat as well. We'll broadcast them as well. And just giving you a chance to reflect on what's calling you into action, what challenges are you facing, or what gives you hope or inspiration, or if you'd rather, what resources can you offer the community, or what needs do you have? So we'll break out into breakouts in a moment. If you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And huge shout out again for all those amazing local artists curated by Kayada. Definitely encourage you to check them out. So with that, we'll break out into breakout rooms, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes and give you a chance to connect with other inspirational folks here and chat about your own hero's journey.
y'all just kicked us out of our room. We were having fun. Why y'all do that? Like, we were on a roll.
We have more artists to lift up.
We were just getting started.
I love that.
The good news is, folks, that none of these conversations have to be an end. These are just beginnings, and I hope that some of the folks that you met this evening, you can connect with them again. You can reach out to them, whether that be the folks, the heroes who were featured in the videos, or maybe someone you met in a group. This is the conversations that need to be had, and in order to keep going as leaders in our community, it's important to have allies who recognize that same hero's journey. And you might all be on different stages of that hero's journey, but to have someone to talk with about those the steps along the way, I think is really important to keep it going, because in the kind of work that most of you guys are doing, it's burnout is a real thing. And so coming together and having that space to talk amongst the community is absolutely vital to keep going.
Yeah, so we'd love to hear in just a couple minutes before we transition, if you want to add to the chat or even lift your hand, and we can and unmute yourself and share like any kind of inspiration or themes or resonance that you heard chatting with folks, or needs or resources that you heard. Aaron's offering, I can offer a resource: anti-capitalist, anti-oppressive economic education that is accessible to the people. Aaron is an incredible trainer in that space, and does incredible work. So I encourage anybody interested in that topic to definitely take her up on that beautiful offer. Thank you, Aaron. And if anybody else has offers or resources or resonance that they want to lift up, that would be great. I know that I heard in my room the theme about the importance of growth and healing and just supporting each other. So a lot of resonance there. So I'm not sure if I'm seeing anybody's hands up, but feel free to add to the chat. And what we're going to do as we move to a close is we're going to make sure to create some space for all the amazing folks who helped make this possible. And that includes Eki and the music that she made really graciously, beautiful music. And we also have some short films and words of encouragement from our editor, Cassie Goodluck, and Love Avalon, who did the directing, who weren't able to be here in person, but behind the scenes made those videos absolutely gorgeous. So we will transition over to Eki. And thank you, Janina, for adding a theme. Theme was putting fears aside and getting the work done, even if you're starting off alone. How many people does that resonate for? Seeing some nods. Sunny, yes. Absolutely. So Eki, we'll hand it over to you. Feel free, Paulina, thank you for the understanding intersectionality of our shared struggles. Feel free, everybody else, to keep adding themes or commonalities that you found with the people in your rooms.
Oh my gosh. This has been such a beautiful and just heartwarming and much needed experience tonight. And I'm just very thankful, Carrie, Chelsea, Kayada, Sonali, for you all having me on board with this beautiful project. So I have a little bit of a confession. The sound creations that I did were previously composed songs that mean a lot to me, and I always, I think, had a vision for them to be shared in a unique way, but I didn't know how or when that would be. And so when the team reached out to me and asked me to create the music, I watched the videos for each hero over and over. I mean, my eyes were puffy and red. I'm like, "Ooh," but I was just so inspired and so moved by these clips that I was watching. And I listened at first with my eyes closed, just to hear the resonance, to hear the message and the sounds and the inflections and the message. And I listened again with my eyes open, taking it all in and wrapping it all in. And the beautiful thing about music that always gets me, even with like an instrumental piece of music, the feelings and the emotions come through. And I just feel that music can be such a unifying force, regardless of our ethnicity, our language, our culture. And we can hear the same song and feel the same thing. It's like, whoa. And so I had a few of those moments, because some of the songs that I knew that I was going to curate to the videos already had the title, and that title was in the video, and it was sort of the video's theme. For example, I listened and watched Severino's video, and what the song that came to mind was Sea Wave, before he was talking about his abalone experience and everything. So it was like such this incredible sort of synchronous match, and that happened for a few some of the other heroes too. And so the process was just really very healing for me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do so. And I mean, like Tavi, I have a song called Recovery, and it just blended beautifully. So I thank you all so much, and just so inspired by everyone. And yeah, it's just been amazing evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Eki. We love you.
Love you too. And before I forget, we have a few words from our film editor, Cassie Goodluck Johnson, and our film director, Love Ablin. Y'all are great.
I'm a Navajo filmmaker, traveler, and dreamer, and I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. I went to film school, I worked in the film and TV industry, but then I decided to create my own film company in order to work on projects that I was inspired to work on, that I cared about, and with people who inspired me, as well as stories that I believed mattered. As a Navajo filmmaker, I'm so grateful that I get to represent my people through the work that I do and the people I connect with. And I'm here to tell you that you can do anything that you put your mind to. All it truly takes is the seed of the idea, the determination and the dedication to nurture that idea, and the passion and sense of purpose to complete it. If something's calling you to do it. I encourage you to, and stick with it no matter what. You never know what impact you're going to have on somebody else simply by following your dreams and never giving up.
Hi, my name is Love. I'm a filmmaker. I believe that everyone is on a journey, and you get to choose if you're the hero of that story. So wherever you are on your journey, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always on your back, and may the sun shine warmly on your face. Godspeed.
You're all so amazing. All of you are just like such an amazing inspiration, and together we make quite the gumbo. Wouldn't you say, Kay?
Gumbo, dude. You still talking about gumbo, huh?
I'm still saying you whet my appetite. What can I say?
And it's making Eki hungry. I know Eki is vegan now. I've never made vegan gumbo.
I'm sure there is. Your mom, right?
Oh yes, there is vegan gumbo.
Dude,
believe.
Keep going. You distracted me because I like food. Keep going. Sonali.
Well, I just want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And I really hope that you're inspired to take action and to get involved. And it can be a rough road. Love said the road should rise up to meet us, and it can be bumpy. And it's been hot as heck here in Washington. The road's been buckling. But knowing that the rest of us are out there and we're all doing our little part, just like, I don't know, just remember that and know that you're supported and there's a community. The community will come. We're here. Yeah.
And we want to thank.
So thank you to all the amazing
Yeah.
contributors to this project, the coalition, the vision guilders, the storytellers, the artists, the volunteers, the sound people, all the background help, to those of you that had the inspiration to get together, to call each other up and be like, hey, we got an idea. And from that idea, this whole thing was birthed. And even just like the ripples from today, they will continue to resonate out. And I feel honored to have been a part of this, to be a part of this. And if there's other folks out there, if this is a community project, you want to pick this up, where those of us who have been on this journey are leaving off on it, reach out to us. It's there as your platform to share through art and music and love.
Oh, yep. Shout out to Josh, because he put this, he's like the real MVP in the background. Yeah, dude. Thank everybody for coming through. Have a wonderful night. And here's to another world being possible because of you, because of us, because of we. And we're just gonna roll out from here. Josh, you know what to do right now.
Hang on, I want to say that the impossible becomes possible through the imagination. So keep that imagination alive, because another world is possible.
Right. Yo, and if y'all got anything else to say, just put it in the chat. Okay.
Drop it like it's hot.
There's no right or wrong to creativity. Fight the master. Fight the expectation to stay in stagnation. Is no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong to creativity. Fight the master. Don't stay in stagnation. There's no right or wrong. Ah, yeah, yeah. If you're not yourself, what kind of life are you living? They say peaks and ends matters. So about reason you gonna shatter. So what stream of self-consciousness? So what stream of self-consciousness Will you share that? So what stream of self-consciousness will you share? Will you share? Will you share? They say peaks and ends matter.
Shattered Boundaries is about stepping outside of one's comfort zone and that there's no right or wrong on what creativity is. Given all this coronavirus-related social distancing and quarantine time, I wanted to find a way to connect and feature my creative friends online. Hence this project. Seeing everyone going for it, just doing FaceTime Live and making videos really inspired me. We may not be able to physically cross boundaries right now, but we can within ourselves. Dare to be different, explore and nurture your creative side, and shatter your inner boundary. Stay inside, stay safe, be well, and let's not forget to continue to love and connect with one another. Thank you.